increases as well. The more fibre in the soil, the better the soil drains, the better the air content of the soil is. It helps the soil dry out, it helps the soil temperature stay up, and bacterial activity enhances plant growth. And dung, okay, there may be a lot of work involved, you may have to keep cattle and you don't like cattle, but I still say dung is better than fertiliser out of the barn, because it doesn't just add nutrients, it builds up the soil quality. It helps the worm count. The more worms in the soil, the more fertile your soil is. A lot of farms now, they chop all the straw, no cattle, and the chopped straw gets ploughed back in. Although it keeps the fibre.
And he was a very, very forward-thinking man. He saw lots of mechanised machinery and whatnot out in America and Canada, and gave him all sorts of ideas for when he came back home. And when he came back, he brought back 6 of these Gale muck spreaders, because when we go back to David and Robert, we'll be doing the old Scottish way of using muscle power, but this was in America. This was a mechanised way of doing it. And this was the floor chain that pushed the dung back down the spreader to spread it. And this was one of 6 spreaders that came back to Scotland in the 20s, and Tom was set up as a sort of an agent to sell them, and eventually this one was used. It was never actually used, it never had any dung, it never spread dung in anger, and it ended up being used for spares, as you realise there's 1 or 2 bits missing on it. Although we don't think it's beyond the scope of repair and restoration, and hopefully someday we'll maybe be able to do this working. But it certainly was able to spread dung. The main downfall of it is you still have to fill it with a grate, no forklifts in these days to fill it. But you'll see 2 handles on either side of also on the seat there. One handle was to engage the drive to the beaters, and the other handle was to engage the drive to the floor chain. And the drive has a nice strong seat there. Now he's going round the ring in the opposite direction so you can get a good look at this. You'll see the swingle trees just rubbing on the wheels as he turns there. And you'll see the Gale spreader number 25. So there's probably been 25 or 24 versions of the Gale spreader before they got to this one. Probably they changed it every year, or they maybe changed it more than once in a year, but every time there was a little improvement made or a little increase in capacity, they would just change the number 25. And that was a very famous thing with a lot of American manufacturers. You will see way back in the early days, like the International Combine, way back in the 1930s, was International number 31 Combine, so it was obviously definitely one of all sorts of cultivators and whatnot, a very famous old company. Now you'll see there's a couple of bags of peat just laying in the back of the couch cart. But what we're trying to recreate here is the couch cart would have been at the midden, or it would have been out in an open cattle court or something like that, and the horsemen would have their grates and they would fill it. And then they would take it out to the field, which has already been marked out into boxes in the field, 15-yard boxes, approximately anyway. And they're going to open these bags of peat, and what they're going to do is move the horse cart and they'll go to the middle of all sorts of cultivators and whatnot, a very famous old company. Now you'll see there's a couple of bags of peat just laying in the back of the couch cart. But what we're trying to recreate here is the couch cart would have been at the midden, or it would have been out in an open cattle court or something like that, and the horsemen would have their grates and they would fill it. And then they would take it out to the field, which has already been marked out into boxes in the field, 15-yard boxes, approximately anyway. And they're going to open these bags of peat, and what they're going to do, onto the middle of one of these squares in the field, and they'll go to the middle of one. And then he would shout to his horse, and the horse would move on. He would shout, whoa, it would stop again, then he would pull out another pile at the next square. And the horse will move up the field, and he'll have pulled out all these piles of dung. And as the dung goes down in the cart, you imagine this cart is filled up to the top, and as it gets up the field, the cart gets emptier and emptier. And then these couch carts, they can be tipped up, and you'll put it on a lock. You'll see it getting hitched up there, and the beauty of these, design of these machines are perfectly balanced, that they can, with a minimum of effort, they can get it up. Now this is probably just sticking with paint. And there it is, the steam lock there is in, and you'll see how the cart now can stay in that tip position, ready to get the next lock pulled out into the ring. So you just imagine the whole field's marked out